Hello, I'm Kevin, and this is the Newsy Podcast. And today we're talking about Democratic Power Rankings 2020. But first, we're going to talk about the gift that keeps on giving. Yes, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Okay, this is actually an op-ed, actually a column from Maureen Dowd in the New York Times, and it is it's pretty jaw-dropping. I mean, I already see the media taking the gloves off right now on Hillary Clinton. They really want her to go away, and she will not. And this column's is smoking. I mean, you probably didn't hear about it, but this column's smoking. Anyway, let's start off. The snow is falling lightly. My thoughts are racing darkly. I'm feeling something foreign, something I've never felt before. It takes me a moment to identify it. I'm feeling sorry for the Clintons. In the 27 years I've covered Bill and Hillary, I've experienced a range of emotions. They've dazzled me and they've disgusted me. But now they're mystifying me. I'm looking around Scotiabank Arena, the home of Toronto Maple Leafs, and it's a depressing sight. It's two for the price of one in half the arena. The hockey rink is half curtained off, but even with that, organizers are scrambling at the last minute to cordon off more sections behind thick black curtains. They say due to lack of sales. I paid $177 weeks in advance. On the day of the event, some old sold tickets are slashed to single digits. Wow. And from what I heard, some of the tickets were going for like $6. I get reassigned to another section as a Clinton's audience space shrinks. But even with all the hurting, I'm still looking at large swaths of empty seats. And I cringe at the thought of the Clintons will look out and see that too. It was only 4 years ago, after all, that Canadians were clamoring to buy tickets to see the woman who seemed headed for history. All right. Now already you can see that the mood is dark, and Maureen Dowd, she's just throwing all kind of shade at Hillary Clinton and her husband, and feeling pretty sorry for him as well. And that's a foreign thing to her. And it's foreign to me too. And when I read this, I kind of felt bad for him too a little bit. And then I thought about it. Anyway, moving on. After the White House, the money grubbing raged on, with Clintons making over 700 speeches in a 15-year period, blithely unconcerned with any appearance of avarice or of shady special interest in foreign countries buying influence. They stockpiled a whopping $240 million. Even leading up to her 2016 presidential run, Hillary was packing in speeches, talking to the Institute of Scrap Recycling Industries, the American Camp Associations, eBay, and there was that infamous trifecta of speeches for Goldman Sachs worth $675,000. What scares me the most is Hillary's smug certainty of her own virtue as she has become greedy, and how typical that is of so many chic liberals who seem unaware of their own greed. Charlie Peters, the legendary liberal former editor of the Washington Monthly, told me. They don't really face the complicity of what's happening to the world, how selfish we've become, and horrible damage of screwing the workers and causing this resentment that the Republicans found a way of tapping into. He ruefully worries about the Obamas in this regard too. Some of the Clinton world say Hillary fully intends to be the nominee once more in Toronto. She didn't rule it out, dodging the questions with a lame joke. She carries herself with an air of a president in exile. Her consigliere, Philip Raines, has prodded reporters on including her name when they write about 2020 candidates. And you'll see in the next story we go over, her name is not mentioned in there. And Bill has given monologues to old friends about how Hillary knows how she'd have run, how she'd have to run in 2020, that she couldn't have a big staff and would speak her mind and not focus group everything. That already sounds focus grouped. Nothing they have done lately suggests that they have learned anything, including their obtuse post-Me Too comments about Monica Lewinsky, and who has been far more candid and sympathetic in the 20th anniversary retellings of the impeachment saga. The Clintons are still unable to hold themselves accountable. The formerly golden couple who dominated their party for nearly 3 decades is traveling North America in a bubble, shockingly unself-aware. Their pathological need to be relevant in America is belied by a Canadian arena where stretches of empty seats bear witness to the passing of their relevance. It's a pity. Wow. And I skipped a lot in there. I mean, she was throwing down. I had to leave some out because I know that reading can get kind of boring. But let me give you some of my opinion on this. This tour has got to be the saddest thing Hillary has done so far. And she's done some pretty sad crap. I wonder sometimes, does Bill get it? You know, there were some points during the 2016 election when I thought he was aware of how pathetic his wife was. But now that I've watched, because I actually watched some of this, and I don't think he's aware. I think they're both just terribly pathetic and out of touch. And, you know, this Toronto thing basically proves it. Do you think she'll run in 2020? You let me know. I still don't think so. If she does run, I think the other candidates will dispose of her very quick. I think the media will have no love for her, and I think you'll see more pieces like this out of the New York Times, out of every other mainstream journalist you can find, every single left-wing journalism site you can find on the right as well. This Democratic primary in 2020 will be the bloodiest they've had since the Obama-Hillary primary. And I think it's going to be a bloodbath. I think it's going to be no mercy. You know, you're talking about a party that has really yet to really define themselves and have a leader since Obama left. So they really are trying to figure out who they are. Are they going to be the party that Obama was trying to create? Identity politics and building the coalition of the minorities, and that's it? Or are they going to be the party of old, where they were for workers and all this other crap that they used to be for? You know, the old school Rust Belt Democrat union guy, and I'm just a good old boy, and I'm just trying to make sure workers have their rights and all this stuff. You know, that old Democrat way. Anyway, speaking of 2020, our next story is about the power rankings according to the Weekly Standard. So let's go into that. Let's look at some of that. And this is called the 2020 Democratic Power Rankings. And this is from the Weekly Standard. The Weekly Standard is a Republican-y type. They're in the Beltway Republicans, so they're pretty right in the center as the center can be, you know. Anyway, that has no bearing on the story. I just want to talk about the different candidates. And I just love these power rankings. I love looking at them and seeing what's going on. Anyway, the number one spot they have, actually let's start from the bottom and work our way up. And some of their their number 6 spot, so they do the top 6. The 6th spot goes to Cory Booker. And Cory Booker is a senator from New Jersey, and the Democratic. Let's see what they have to say about him. Cory Booker. The Democratic Party is desperate for another Obama to rescue them, a young, charismatic figure with the ability to inspire cult-like devotion. Kamala Harris might be it. Deval Patrick might be it. Heck, Beto O'Rourke might be it. But Cory Booker is definitely not it. He's a political equivalent of Fetch. Stop trying to make Fetch happen. I don't know who Fetch is, but I don't know, that's weird. But yeah, Cory Booker's lame. I would think Kamala is going to make mincemeat of Cory Booker. Deval Patrick, if he gets in, he's going to make mincemeat, I think, of Cory Booker and Kamala Harris, because when you look at what Deval Patrick's actually done things But Kamala Harris has done a little bit. Cory Booker did a terrible job in New Jersey. Anyway, moving forward. Number 5 is Elizabeth Warren. The tragic lesson of nearly all failed military campaigns is too late. The same applies to politics. Warren should have taken Hillary Clinton in 2016, but either she didn't want to or misjudged Clinton's strength. Yeah, I mean, that's. I think I agree with that, and I don't think that. I don't think. I don't think she's the person for 2020. If she can't figure a way to get past this Indian thing, if she can't figure out a way to get past that, then she's done. And she's yet to show me that she can turn the corner on that. And she just needs to get back to basics. Quit trying to worry about being the best, the most Indian or the most like, some minority or something. Just focus on your bread and butter. What made you, what made you famous? She was known for her, kind of being a wonk on the left when it came to progressive politics, progressive policies. She should focus on that. I think she'll do fine with that. And that's her core strength. She should definitely focus on that and stop trying to be a minority because it's weird and creepy. Number 4, Sherrod Brown. He's the opposite of Harris in that on paper he seems like none of the things that Democrats are looking for. Why have him ranked this high? Because all he does is win. Yeah, Sherrod Brown's kind of an enigma too. Because you look at Ohio, Ohio's not a purple state anymore. Ohio is definitely a red state. And Sherrod Brown, he's a progressive. And he's there, he has that. I think that if anyone can merge, I think there are a couple other people that can do this. But I think Sherrod Brown is in a unique position because he's actually being mentioned. Some of these other people aren't being mentioned. And I think that he merges some of that Rust Belt populist in with the progressive, his progressive stances. And I think I haven't heard him talk that much. I've only read about some of the things he said and some of the things he's done. And look, as we go through this, I know how I'm talking. I might sound like I'm liking them or I'm seeing like I'm trying to go along with what they're trying to do. You have to understand when I'm talking about these power rankings, I'm talking about this from a strategy perspective. I'm not talking about this as if I agree with them. I'm just talking about this from a strategy perspective of saying, okay, this person, this is kind of what I think. This is what they bring to the table. So let's go back into this. Yeah, I like Sherrod Brown. He could probably be my top 3. And also because I think a lot of these other people are going to get knocked around a lot in the media because they have a higher profile. I'm not saying Sherrod Brown doesn't have a higher profile in those circles, but a lot of people outside of those base circles don't really know about him. So I think that a lot of these other people like Elizabeth Warren and the Kamala Harris of the world, they'll kind of be a known quantity. And I think that Sherrod Brown will have a chance to come out and really leave a mark on who he is and kind of have a fresh look. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway, the number 3 spot is Kamala Harris. Why is everyone so high on Kamala Harris? She's liberal, she's a woman, she's African American. Those 3 factors alone will give any candidate a built-in opening in a Democratic primary, where you simply can't win unless you are liberal and have the support of women and support African Americans. Now, I will definitely say that if she can do good in South Carolina, and if she can do good, and I think she would do good in South Carolina and North Carolina, and she would help bring in all those African Americans, and in Georgia too. I mean, I think that she'd be very formidable in Georgia. Yeah, Kamala Harris is definitely she's in my top. She's in my top 2, and I think she can do really good. I think that let's continue reading. On paper, Harris is the perfect candidate. She's smart and ambitious. She feels like another Obama. Certainly, Democrats want her to be the next Obama, but it's not clear that she has the ability to pop off the screen the way Obama did. Our politics are trending in the direction of celebrity Big Brother, and Harris might be too traditional a figure, but you can be certain she is going to get a long look from a Democratic voter if she runs. Now, I will say that she does have a few skeletons in her closet, and it might have some progressives in the base worried, and it may go back to the fact that maybe she was a little too cozy with law enforcement when she was AG in California. And she is I didn't say this at first, but she's a senator from California, the junior senator from California, and she was the Attorney General of California before that. I don't think that widely. I think that will give her some chops in the suburban community where she can say, look, when I was AG, I believe in holding law enforcement accountable, but I had a good relationship with them when I was AG, and I think it'll play well in the suburbs. So I think she's very formidable. And I heard her speak, and not bad. She's not energetic like Obama, and she's no Bernie Sanders, but she's good. She knows her stuff. So anyway, let's move on to the next person who I don't think has an absolute shot at all, but they are always, the establishment always, always, always holding her up. And number two, that is Kirsten Gillibrand. She is the person that Republicans are scared of the most, in my opinion. She was initially elected as a populist Democrat, but over the last 10 years, Gillibrand has been steadily repositioning herself to the left because that's where her party is. So, yeah, I mean, she ran as a conservative Democrat. And I think that's when she was in Congress. And she won her seat by being a conservative Democrat, went in there, and then she used that as leverage to run for the Senate. I think she took Hillary Clinton's spot when Hillary Clinton left. I could be wrong. I might be wrong. Don't hold me to that. But she is a senator from New York. I'm pretty sure she's a junior senator from New York because Chuck Schumer? Yeah, he's a senior senator. Okay, let's move forward. The number one spot, Bernie Sanders, of course. Bernie Sanders is second in the polls. What? Oh, I read that wrong. Bernie Sanders is second in the polls. Will stipulate that at this point, polling indicative of name ID more than anything else. That's why Beto is running third. On the one hand, that's not great. Why is the 2016 runner-up sitting behind Joe Biden, who hasn't gotten a vote on his own legs since he finished fifth in the Iowa caucus in January of 2008. That was kind of a word salad. Anyway, so Bernie Sanders is number one on this list, and rightly so. He came in second last time, and that's the way it is. I think Bernie Sanders is going to actually be. And in fact, I'll go over some of these, the 7 through 15. Everyone else. Lots of people are going to take a hard look at Joe Biden, Andrew Cuomo, Terry McAuliffe, Michael Bloomberg, Amy Klobuchar, Eric Garcetti, and don't sleep on Michael Avenatti or Oprah. Now, I think Eric Garcetti, I think he'll have a shot in that group because I think he's a fighter. And I think he'll surprise some people. Terry McAuliffe, I think he's connected big time, big money. So I think he's someone you cannot rule out. Joe Biden, I think he'll fizzle real quick because Joe Biden's never had the charisma or anything else to do anything. He's only been able to ride on the coattails of other people. Andrew Cuomo, he comes off as a jerk. I don't think he's going to go that far if he does get in. Let's go over some of my thoughts. I do think Bernie is a clear front runner at this point. I think that the base is fractured, and it remains to be seen if he can pull it back together in 2020. I think that his following is fractured after because people still remember he surrendered to Hillary Clinton, and that disillusioned a large part of his support. And some of them aren't going to come back from that. And you also have to remember that Bernie Sanders ran on the left in the 2016 primary. He's not going to have that luxury this time. This time he's going to be sitting shoulder to shoulder with a lot of other people who are just as left as he is. And if it's Elizabeth Warren, it'll be just, it's arguable, but I don't know who's further left. But, you got Sherrod Brown in there. These people are pretty far left. Bernie Sanders is not going to have that luxury of being on the left anymore. And, the only way going forward, I think, that he has is that he can try to appeal to the blue-collar Midwestern voter. Now, if Sherrod Brown's doing good, then that's going to be a neck-and-neck fight right there. So you'll get to see whoever in those couple guys, however they do, you'll see in the Midwest. And anyway, at this point, it's a gentleman's race. I think it's between Kamala Harris and the senator from California. I think it's between Kamala Harris, Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren. Depending on if Elizabeth Warren can shake that crap that she's been trying to do this year. I don't think celebrities like Oprah or outsiders like the Stormy Daniels lawyer, Michael Avenatti, I don't think they have a shot. I don't think they're, even if they do it, I don't think they have a shot. The Democratic Party isn't going to let an outsider swoop in and take the nomination unless that outsider really catches fire. It's going to be a lot like Trump. You have to remember the establishment didn't just let Trump swoop in and take it. They fought him every step of the way, and they still continue to fight him to this day. They know, the Democratic establishment knows that this is their one and only chance to take down Trump, and they won't waste it on a gamble. Either way, this should be fun to watch. You let me know what you think, because I think this is going to be a bloodbath, and I think it's going to be fun to watch. I think there's going to be a lot of things we're going to get to learn about the candidates. I think they're going to have to give 110%. I think if some of them are faking it, it will come out. So if Cory Booker, like people say, is all talk, we're going to get to see that. You know, people say a lot of things about Bernie Sanders too. They talk about how he didn't want to put the work in when he was in the commune in his younger days and carrying forward throughout his life. It's kind of been analogous of someone who didn't really want to do anything, and him being a backbencher almost his entire career. So we'll get to see if these things were correct or if this was just, you know, the media misreporting him in the way he is. You know, I've been following Bernie Sanders for a few years, and I've yet to see that lazy person that they talk about. So I don't know. And as far as Kamala Harris, I think she's definitely one of the people to watch. I think she can only hurt herself at this point. And I think that's pretty much it. And oh yeah, Hillary Clinton, of course. I think they'll dispose of her pretty quick. I think that you'll get her standing next to somebody like Kamala Harris or Elizabeth Warren. Can you imagine Hillary Clinton standing next to Kamala Harris? She's gonna be freaking scared. She's terrified of black people. I mean, she's not gonna want to lay a finger on her. But you never know. I mean, sometimes she pulls the claws out. Anyway, look, that's it. Till next time, peace.